Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, a Betfred Women's Super League South team going semi-professional, and Teddy versus Turbo in the Elimination semi-final. Who goes home? So before we look into today's NRL elimination game, we have some news coming from the Betfred Women's Super League South. And on the day that 100 years ago there was a first Women's Rugby League game was played, it has come to light that the Bristol All Golds, the Ferns, the Golden Ferns in this case, have announced that they are set to become the first semi-professional women's rugby league club in the United Kingdom since the sport's inception in 1895. The Rugby Football League merit great praise for introducing the Betfred Women's Super League South this year. The concept has already become a resounding success. It's little surprise, therefore, that more clubs wish to join in the ensuing seasons, and that's teams that I've heard of, like Brighton, Oxford, as well as a few of their players played for Bedford each year. Golden Ferns chairman Lionel Hurst explains the rationale. The women have been nothing short of magnificent, tough, brave, committed and loyal. Furthermore, many of them have displayed a natural aptitude for the sport, so much so that I often say to them, "Are you sure you haven't played it before?" On such qualities, one can build an organisation to be proud of. So it's great to see that they're giving all the backing that they can to get the Golden Ferns into a semi-professional position, including this year when they've reached the semi-final. Well, because of this year, reaching the semi-finals of their playoff series. The club will be looking to contract a squad of 30 players for the 2022 campaign. And the Golden Ferns are based at SGS Stoke, Gifford Stadium in Bristol, where the facilities are amongst the best in British sport. Moreover, the whole concept is underpinned by all the key ingredients for success, including top quality coaching, strength and conditioning, medical support and much more besides. In addition, the club's administrative structure is of a high standard and in place in readiness for professional rugby. Simon Martin, the All Golds head of rugby development, is in no doubt that the free-flowing and entertaining nature of the 30-in-a-side code is tailor-made for female participation. He said, "The enjoyment the women obtain from the sport itself is evident. The way the Ferns have played this year in becoming the inaugural semi-finalists, allied to their conduct on and off the field of play, have all contributed to the club taking this history-making decision." Now here's the good news for all those in the Bristol area, no matter what sport, as a particular feature is how the sport is appealing for women from all sporting disciplines, not just rugby. Lionel Hurst actually kept saying previous experience of playing rugby league is not essential, as we're seeking to sign on those with the attributes we value most highly, including toughness and athleticism and the desire to learn and improve. All those seeking to become a Golden Ferns player in 2022 and also beyond should contact Simon with their sporting CV via the email address below, simon.martin at allgoldsrugby.co.uk. Are you going to be the next rugby star? Let's give you some context of how this has worked for some team. In an international game recently, England played Wales women's team on Sky Sports. Yes, 64-0 win to England, but there was a player on the Welsh side played volleyball Olympic level. Don't know where the stars are going to come from. Will be the next one. Get on that email below. There. All there. Simon Martin at allgoldrugby.co.uk. Never know. At minimum, you could be being paid to play rugby league. What else are they going to say? No. That's nothing. But if you're interested and you do get a trial and things like that, good luck. Welcome to the rugby league family. So let's set the scene. It's Manly versus Sydney in the Elimination semi-finals. I call it the Elimination semi-final instead of the semi-finals, because if you lose this game, you're eliminated. One of these two teams are going home after this game. Their finals challenge. And now, Manly are coming off a massive defeat against the Melbourne Storm, 40 points to 12, where Tom Trbojevic did not turn up whatsoever in that game last week, and it showed that Melbourne had a plan and they kept to it really well. The Roosters came into this game because they beat the Gold Coast Titans. They only just beat the Titans, as the score was 25 points to 24. Sam Walker drop goal finished off the game. So let's have a look at the starting lineups for each of the team and see what each are bringing to the table. Now, there was just one change from Des Hasler when the teams were announced midweek following the flogging at the hands of Melbourne, and it's an improvement in the front row with Lachlan Croker returning after missing with the last game with back tightness. Carl Lawton drops to the bench, bumping Kurt Sirenen all out of the 17 altogether. Then, when the final lineups came up, Sean Kepi was listed to start ahead of Martin Tapau, despite it being the former Canterbury and West forward's 200th NRL appearance. So, at this moment in time, Tom Trbojevic and Jason Saab are both on 25 tries for this season to date, meaning either could break the club record of 27 in the season set by Phil Blake in 1983. Ruben Garrick hits another milestone if he beats a 17-year record that stands. Hazim El Masri has an NRL record of 342 points for Canterbury back in 2004, which is the most in an NRL season. At this moment in time, before the game, Ruben Garrick is at a season best haul for the Seagulls at 308 points, and he's just in touching distance. Now for the Roosters. Only making one change himself to the run-on side from Trent Robinson, with Ben Marsk replacing the suspended Sam Verrills at hooker. Verrills will miss a fortnight after being hit with a Grade 2 careless tackle challenge. There is disappointing news on the bench for the Roosters fans, with Tiasua Takiaho missing out with a calf injury. However, the blow is softened by the return of Nat Butcher from a knee injury. So we're into our kickoff for the first game, with these two aiming to be side that play South Sydney in the next round, one step away after that from the grand final. And Sydney received the kickoff, and no mistakes from either side as Sydney complete their third set. But only one tackle into Manly's first carry, and there's a penalty for a high shot, and the Seagulls can load up on halfway. Manly are tight for 4 seconds before Daly Cherry Evans floats a long pass out to the right to set up a promising kicking position on the last tackle. The skipper then kicks high to the post, but Morris is safe under pressure, leading Roosters out of defence and complete their second set on halfway. The teams carried on trading sets, but on the 7th minute, the Seagulls are in for the first try of the game. The sheer weight of possession beforehand eventually counts for Manly. The ball goes through the hands to the right, and Trebojevic hits the line in the right centre position, dummies to his outside backs to earn a gap. Then he powers over the line through Kieran's heroics, but ultimately futile tackle, though that Kieran was throwing in. He wrestles his way to the ground to score a try on the second attempt. Battle of the number ones has started with Turbo 1. Ruben Garrick kicks his first kick of the game to make it 6-0 to Manly. On the 12th minute, it's looking very ugly for Sydney. The ball is played from the right edge infield, and Trebojevic is the second receiver, hitting the line at speed, and he breaks through the defence. He looks to the left, and Foran has the simplest job in rugby league to accept the pass and touch down near the posts. Roosters are beginning to feel it might not be their day. The 12 minutes gone, and Garrick continues his pursuit of El Masri with a simple conversion due to this. And after an attempted try that came to nothing for the Seagulls, from a scrum under the posts, Cherry Evans waits for the Roosters to rush towards Trebojevic, sidesteps around a couple of rampaging forwards, and limbos under the bar. Ruben Garrick does not miss with the simplest of kicks, and it's probably over already, and there's barely a quarter gone. The Seagulls 18-0 up. It's a point a minute at this point. But back roars the Roosters as Icky Valu scores on the 26th minute. A full set is quickly reinforced by a set restart on the 10-metre line. The ball goes straight to the left, and Tupou even almost gets over the line. Jared Wahira Hargreaves takes a tackle, then the ball comes back to the right through a few passes in hand. It's very slick, with Tedesco delivering the perfect timed cut-up pass for Ikivalu to cross in the corner. Kieran drags his touchline conversion attempt well wide, and that means that the Roosters are back in it at 18-4. Not long after, though, the Roosters are probing. Tupou gains yardage after contact with a huge fend. Foran and Daly Cherry Evans are busy around the ruck, but the momentum building there is stopped because of a soft knock-on, and the Roosters have some respite. From a scrum on their own line, Sydney drive beyond the halfway line, but overcooks a kick, and Garrick can mark up and, can make the mark on the 20-metre line and run 30 metres. A couple of tackles later, Daly Cherry Evans plays the short side brilliantly, dipping around Victor Radley to establish an overlap, from where Saab and Harper combine, and in a textbook wing centre combination down to charge down the right flank, and to carve up the Roosters. Garrick adds 2 points to Harper, who finishes off the try, to make his tally 8 for the night. Manly complete the restart of the set with no difficulty, but they allowed the Roosters field position with an offside call, and that invites the Roosters to attack from halfway instead of their own 10-metre line. Penalty soon follows, and the drive eventually begins in earnest on the 20-metre line. The Roosters probe to the right edge and then the left with Nat Butcher. Sam Walker is on from the bench at this point, and he throws a floaty pass just before contact. Tedesco declines to engage the Manly tackler, steaming into his ribcage, whether that's the Manly tackler steaming into his ribcage thing, and the bounce catches Morris off guard, and the opportunity goes begging. Just to let you know, Tedesco had actually released the ball into a pass to Morris, which he wasn't ready for, but it was a late tackle on him. That actually causes a penalty because they challenged the call, because Tedesco is challenged late, and they're successful with the captain's challenge, and they earned that penalty on the stroke of half time. But Roosters, instead of going for it, being 24 points to 4 down, they decide to go for a goal for 2 points, despite being behind so far on the scoreboard. And Kieran knocks it over for 24 points to 6 at the Hooter. And it's a surprisingly one-sided final so far. The Roosters have been poor in defence and attack, committing errors at will. Manly have attacked with panache, with Daly Cherry-Evans superb at controlling the play, and Trebojevic the game's most dangerous force. It looks a long way back for the Roosters, despite those 2 late penalties. Going into the second half, Manly have started off the most brightest, and after trading sets, they force Victor Radley of the Roosters into a mistake, dropping the ball on the 4th tackle, and they decide to turn this through. And on the 46th minute, Trebojevic has a brace for the day and equals Manly's all-time season best try-scoring haul. His brother Jake makes the line break on halfway, running onto the flattest of passes before offloading to Dylan Walker. He's hauled down a couple of metres short of the try line, but from the ruck, Tom Trebojevic hits the short ball with gusto and steams across the line like any runaway prop forward would do. He was unstoppable. That must be it, as Garrick adds the 2 more, and it's 30 points to 6. That's it for the scoreboard though, as it's party time on the Corso. Another perfectly timed short ball on the halfway, and a purple jersey steams into space. This time it's Dylan Walker, and this time, instead of offloading to guarantee a try for his teammate Daly Cherry-Evans, he decides to throw the most audacious of dummies. He's setting up, he's looking, he's turned his body, and he throws the dummy with James Tedesco flying past like a goalkeeper trying to save it in the top right hand corner, and leaves Dylan Walker with a clear run to the line. Garrick then adds the extras to make it 36 points to 6, and his personal tally to 6 out of 6 off the tee. It's been a long, tough season for the Roosters, and it cannot end soon enough. Manly must be considering wrapping Tedesco in cotton wool. He limped away from a couple of contests tonight, and they dare not risk a trump card going into the next game. It's a bit quiet, it's going back and forth, both sides knocking on and also conceding penalties. A bit more concentration lacking for Manly than the Roosters, as the Roosters game this evening, but it's the Roosters that start turning the screw. Keep turning the screw. They don't stop working. And on the 67th minute, they turn Manly around with a grubber into the in goal and force a dropout. Horrible stuff, to be fair. And then from a dropout, Crichton spills the ball in the contact. Just not this. It's not Sydney Roosters' day, I'm afraid. It's one of those days. They also turn around. The Roosters get the ball back again, and they try another grubber in goal. And this time, Travojevic knocks it out. You get to a certain point, they do the good stuff, and when it comes to the basic stuff, the Roosters just don't have it. As another fumble causes the issue to be the same again. Fuck off. On the 65th minute, Travojevic is taken off the pitch just to wrap him up and kill on wall so that he's ready for the next game, as they feel that the game is done. Travojevic, though, is unhappy, like any good player would. He's done a hat-trick, and he wasn't able to get that. Just one of those things. Not long after, though, the Seagulls have finally completely done the game. The 70th minute, Jacob Saab scores a long ranger for Sydney from the Manly 10-yard line. The kick goes across field from Hutchinson. That's a goalkeeper hit the ball Wanderers. Hutchinson puts a kick across field, shall we put it that way, for the Roosters, and it's knocked back by David Tupou. But unfortunately, it falls to a Manly hand. Manly player tries to start a break off out down the right hand side of the pitch, but he's being closed down and tackled at the same time, so he's looking to offload flop to, and Jacob Saab pops on his right hand side, and he offloads it to Saab, who sprints past the covering defenders from the Roosters. No problem whatsoever. He slows down as it to Powell. He's giving him the go on, you've scored, and they're celebrating. Saab's tongue is out in jubilation for his try, but there's all the Roosters chaser was coming back at him. It was a prop forward, unfortunately, not the complete. He could completely gas him at any moment. That's what he did. They turned on the afterburners, and Jacob Saab scored under the posts. Garrick racks up even more points for the incredible season with a conversion, and it's 42 points to 6. And just to leave you some context of how the Roosters season, how they feel after this season. Some Roosters get a penalty inside the Manly half, and they decide to tap it. But as soon as he's tapped it, Sam Walker kicks it out, which his teammates did not like whatsoever, as they were trying to get it into Josh Morris's hands so that he could get off the ball, touch the ball, the final touch of the ball in a rugby league shirt, rather than the one a couple of minutes before, where he was closed down quickly and tackled. But hey, the rest of the team just wanted to put the queue on the rack. That's it, done, dusted, and that's how the match finishes. 42 points to 6 to Manly Seagulls. So who's going to be my man of the match for the game? Well, you could say numerous people on the Manly side. It was so much better than Roosters on the day, in the scoreline reflecting. But just for nostalgia and a bit of, acknowledgement, shall we say that, I'm going to give it Josh Martin. played his last game today, was given the Guard of Honour. Yes, he wasn't involved as much as he'd like to be in the game. That was well played by Manly. But he's committed his career to the NRL. Sometimes, from what Father said in an interview, to his detriment. And plus, he might not be enjoying it as much with his brother not being able to play again this and retiring because of the injury. So I'll just wish him good luck and thank you for being part of this league family, and I hope to see you in some form with the game. So that's game one of the semi-finals, played, undone and dusted, and we see one team go by the wayside as we have Roosters going home, and it says to Manly they're into the preliminary final one, which is played next week, and they'll be playing the Rabbitohs, who have been miserly in defence against the Penrith Panthers. Everyone's tipped to go to the grand final. We have Eels versus Panthers tomorrow. Our review of that. But in the meantime, tell me what your thoughts are. Was it a just scoreline? Was it inevitable? Or were you disappointed with what the Roosters did? It's going to be an interesting one to see who's going to. That's going to be a great semi-final, by the way, and you are going to be in with a treat if you watch it. Now, on the flip side, what about the Golden Ferns becoming semi-pro? That's a very good way to do things to grow the sport. It will entice a lot of people to have a look into it. They are just putting CVs out. If you want to be a professional women's rugby league, a semi-professional rugby league player, you want to be in a chance to get in a contract, please have a look at that email address again. It'll be in the in the description of this site. Get in touch. What have you got to lose? Them saying no? That's the worst thing that they can do. But otherwise, if you get good enough and they want to keep you, you're getting paid to play rugby league in Bristol. And who knows what could come next. Anyway, tell me in the comments what your thoughts are of all the videos that you've heard today. And I will just say like, subscribe, share the video worldwide, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.